Hello everyone. Today's lecture is about introduction to the pharmaceutical legislation. Okay, so first we'll see what do we mean by jurisprudence. The word jurisprudence is the English word which is derived from Latin word known as jurisprudentia, and the meaning of jurisprudentia is to study or have knowledge or skill with regards to the law. So with this respect, pharmaceutical jurisprudence is the study of laws regarding pharmacy. So there are various laws to control profession of pharmacy and education in pharmacy in India. So the functions of pharmaceutical jurisprudence is pharmacy education, to look into cultivation, processing, sale and distribution of plant-oriented drugs, to conduct and control research and production of drugs in Siddha, Ayurvedic, homeopathic, allopathic and biotechnological categories of drugs, to control packaging and labeling of drugs, to control sales, marketing and distribution of drugs, to look into prescription of different types of drugs, to control use of dangerous drugs, to control incurable ailments, and to look into offences with regard to law and penalties thereof. So these are the functions of in general jurisprudence with respect to any sector, and this is also applicable to pharmaceutical sector. So if we see history how the pharmaceutical jurisprudence developed in India. So before independence, there was nothing in India. Everything was controlled by British rule. So in early 20th century, we had very few laws, and these laws were Opium Act 1878, Poisonous Drug Act 1919, Dangerous Drug Act 1913, and these laws were very specific to the category, and also they what you can say the control over the laws was very less. The government was looking very less into the pharmaceutical sector, and that created chaos. Okay, so practically there was no control of the central government on the profession of pharmacy. In 1927, all the state councils came together and recommended Governor General to have immediate steps for the standardization of preparation and sale of the drugs. So this resulted in formation of Drug Inquiry Committee on 11th August 1930. Dr. R.N. Chopra, who is known as father of Indian pharmacology, was appointed as chairperson of this committee. Hence the committee is also known as Chopra Committee. The purpose of this committee was to look into the profession and identify the problems and suggest the measure to resolve them. So 1 year tenure was given to the committee, and the report was prepared in 1931, and it was found out that there was no recognized pharmacy profession in the country. Only few people who were known as compounders were filling up the gaps, and they didn't have proper training and knowledge. So it was found that there is an urgent need of development of pharmacy profession legislation in India. So now we'll see what is Drug Inquiry Committee, what they did and how it worked out. So Drug Inquiry Committee was the initial step to identify the loopholes in the pharmaceutical profession. So they found out that at that time, Indian medicinal system was suppressed by foreign invaders like Mughals and then Britishers. And UK, France, Germany were flooding Indian market with inferior quality drugs. Also, the change in climatic condition of UK, Europe, and Indian tropical condition was causing deterioration of the medicinal products. But still, such deteriorated medicines were available in the market. Indian pharma manufacturing sector was in its infancy. Very few companies were present in Indian sector, and they were also producing some basic drugs. Also, malpractice in sales and distribution of drug caused inferior quality drug to reach to the patient, and inadequate qualified manpower in India with respect to knowledge and number. And there was no legal government control over the education, manufacturing, sales, import, and distribution of the drugs. And this resulted in direct effect on the public health. So Drug Inquiry Committee recommended few suggestions. There were total 90 recommendations by the committee, and few of them are, hello? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. Okay, total 90 recommendations were made by Drug Inquiry Committee, and some of them are there should be a central legislation control over the drug and pharmacy. This control can be separate with respect to drug products and the practice of pharmacy, or it can be combined in one act. So now in country we have two different acts. We have Drug and Cosmetic Act, which is related to product oriented aspect, and we have Pharmacy Act, which looks into the process and the way the patient is enforced in the country. So instead of combined, we have two different acts now. So it was the very first suggestion by the committee that there can be combined Drug and Pharmacy Act or separate Drug Act and Pharmacy Act. Okay. Now, the another suggestion was there should be an advisory board which will advise various people and committee regarding technical issues of the enforcement of the law in the country. There should be a central laboratory. So this laboratory will look into biochemical assay and standardization of drug, and it will help maintain quality and efficacy of the medicinal products. There should be compilation of a pharmacopoeia, so we can have standard things, references in the entire country. There should be reduction in the import duty of the drug so that foreign products can be restricted and home products can be promoted into the market. There is a need of registration of patent or proprietary medicine in the manufacture, whether manufactured in India or imported from out of India. So this will help identify the manufacturer or importer and to have a control over the product which is being marketed. And there should be no false or misleading or exaggerated claims on the label so that people cannot be misguided. These were the very few recommendations. I mean, these were the few recommendations which we have seen. A total of 90 recommendations were made by the Drug Inquiry Committee. So these were the suggestions by the inquiry committee, but the government acted upon acted upon the suggestions made by the committee after 9 years. The lag time of 9 years was due to we were under the British rule, and that time Second World War was going on. So our main force was driven to the World War, and we were in the transition towards the independence. So it took a long enough time to transform suggestions into actions. So as the suggestion was made that there should be uh, uh, composition of Drug Act and Pharmacy Act. So with respect to this suggestion, Drug Act 1940 was enforced. Then after Drug Technical Advisory Board was formed in 1941. A Central Drug Laboratory in Calcutta was formed in 1947. Actually, Dr. R.N. Chopra established one biochemical standardization laboratory in Calcutta in 1937, but the laboratory got statutory status under the Drug Act 1940 in the year of 1947. So we seen the government establishment of Central Drug Laboratory in 1947, but it was developed far ahead in 1937. So due to formation of Drug Act, Drug Technical Advisory Board and Central Drug Laboratory, now there was a control over import, manufacturing, sales and distribution of the drug in the country. Then after, in 1948, Pharmacy Act was enforced in the country. So as a result of enforcement of Pharmacy Act 1948, pharmacy education and pharmacy profession was now under the control of government body. But Indian pharmacopoeia development was little neglected after development of drug acts and pharmacy act. So Indian pharmacopoeia list was the very first Indian document in 1946. It was not a separate pharmacopoeia, but rather it was an Indian supplement to the British pharmacopoeia published in 1932. Then after, the first Indian Pharmacopoeia Committee was formed after independence in the year 1948. And the first Indian Pharmacopoeia was published in 1955. So thus, slowly, we came into proper organized legislation from 1940 till date. And these are some other acts which are related to the profession of pharmacy in India. So Drug Act 1940 was renamed as Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940. Earlier only medicinal products were included in the act, and later cosmetic also gained place in the act. So the act was renamed as Drug and Cosmetic Act and Rules 1945. Another rules are Drug and Magic Remedy Act 1954, Medicinal and Toilet Preparations Act 1955, Narcotic and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985, Drug Price Control Order 1987, and so on. There were many. Now there are many acts which control profession of pharmacy in India. Other acts are those which are common to all sectors with related to business or patent or human rights. So those acts are also applicable to the profession of pharmacy. So these are Industrial Dispute Act 1947, Factory Act 1948, the Trade and Merchandise Mark 1958, the Indian Patent and Design Act 1970. So all this also apply to the sector of pharmacy in India. So this was the brief uh, introduction about the how pharma jurisprudence developed in India.